This service is provided in high definition by free conference call 8. Access code accepted. You are the only...
Pick up your copy of the Son of Man Speaks magazine today. With the Son of Man Speaks magazine, you'll receive automotive tips, wholesome recipes, financial advice, and most importantly, a true understanding of the Word of God. Get your copy of the Son of Man Speaks from these select locations: Sisters Braid 2, 18070 Mount Elliott. The Shell Gas Station, 13110 West 7 Mile Road. To get a subscription, call 601-786-9788. That's 601-786-9788. The Son of Man Speaks magazine, dedicated to becoming free indeed.
Attention, brothers and sisters, viewers and listeners, now available. Your Son of Man Speaks magazine digital subscription. Your digital subscription to the Son of Man Speaks magazine will also include our monthly e-newsletter, both delivered to your inbox. If you have any questions regarding the digital magazine subscription or digital newsletter, you may send an email to shabazprinting@thenewnationofislam.com. That's shabazprinting@thenewnationofislam.com. Or call 1-601-786-9788. That's 1-601-786-9788. You can also subscribe online. Visit www.thenewnationofislam.com and click on the magazine tab to register for your online subscription.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website at www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. That's www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. We often hear how we need to work together to rebuild the city, and we're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links to track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. And for more information, 313-868-0000 is a local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
To make your online tithes, offerings, donations, gifts to the Son of Man through Cash App, make your payment to $New Nation of Islam. That's $New Nation of Islam. Or call 601-786-7056. 601-786-7056.
We love Detroit. We are at where?
Hey, Larry, we are right here on Mount Elliott in Detroit at Sisters Braid 2 Hair Salon.
Well, I'm talking, come on, please, this place. It looks like Beverly Hills or something.
Absolutely beautiful. You guys know I wear my braids. Larry's going to buy me something. It's going to be a hairdo, guys.
What you want?
It's going to be my hair today.
How about a braid?
Welcome to this week's edition of We Love Detroit. I am on Detroit's east side at Sisters Braid 2, a beautiful hair salon. I am here with the CEO, Miss Crystal. How are you today, Miss Crystal?
I'm good. Thank you.
I am so excited to be here. Everybody know I love my hair and I love my braids. Typically, you guys know, but you have to tell us, how did Sisters Braid 2 get started?
We started Sisters Braid 2 in 2009 in order to bring back some experience and quality and great customer service to this craft that I love so much.
Yes, wonderful. And it's so clean and professional. And I have such a warm feeling when I come in. It's beautiful in here. It's decorated so beautifully. What made you come and choose this spot right in the heart of Detroit, Detroit East Side? What made you come here?
Well, we have this building and we just wanted to do something with it. It's a collective effort from the New Nation of Islam. And we came in and they allowed me to decorate it and set up like I wanted to, and that's how we got started with that.
Now listen, not only do you guys do braids, because that's what's in the title, but you don't only do braids, you do all hair care here, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the other services you offer.
Yep, so we offer all phases of braids, but we also offer natural styles like 2-strand twist, scalp twist, men's braids, children's braids, press and curls. The only thing we don't do is typicals.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. And you know what? That's really important for all year round. And it's so huge now. What's been about protective styles for our hair, not just for the winter months, but all year round. It is important to protect our hair the best we can. And you do all styles for that. So I love that. But let's talk about an important product that you have, a really well-known product. Let's talk about that.
Okay, right. That's our Sister Shea oil.
Sister Shea.
Yes, it's loaded with 10 to 12 great natural oils: aloe vera, shea butter, grapeseed oil, rosemary. So all those things that soothe the scalp while you're in braids, or even if you're not in braids, those things are going to hydrate those coils.
I love it.
And keep your hair healthy.
And it's done really well, right? You've been on some really well-known shows, right?
Yeah, we've been on Live in the D. We've been on Channel 7. We're featured in Small Business Saturdays.
Fantastic.
We have the Spirit of Detroit Award.
She's on the Spirit of Detroit Award, and now she's on
Detroit Award.
We love Detroit.
Absolutely.
Now she's come around.
Yes. Absolutely.
We just love it. Right here, Sisters Shea is the product. Sisters Braid 2 is the shop. When are you open, Crystal?
We're open Tuesday through Saturday. We start as early as 8 a.m. We take our last appointment around 6 p.m.
So appointments, because you want to make sure that you're being considerate of others' time.
Yes.
And because that's something that's very important
Right.
to us.
In order to give that comfortable quality service, we feel like the only way to go is by appointment.
That's right.
As soon as you get in, you're getting in the chair, you're getting serviced.
My favorite. I will definitely be coming down. Thank you, braids. You guys must too. It's beautiful in here. Over a decade of experience. Wonderful customer service. It's
Thank
so
you.
beautiful in here. I have to say again, right here on Detroit's east side on Mount Elliott. Sisters Braid too.
Yes.
You have to come down. They got to come down and see us, right, Crystal?
Yes, absolutely.
Because we love Detroit.
Yes.
Okay, say
We love Detroit. Yes.
We love
Detroit.
One more time.
We love Detroit.
Hey, another show, Ginger.
Larry, wasn't that so
It
nice?
was fascinating. You know, it's amazing what people can do when they put their mind to it.
Absolutely, especially in this beauty industry. You guys have to make sure you come on down to Sisters Braid too.
This is you
Yeah.
in your own neighborhood.
Larry didn't buy me a style today, but at least I got an appointment for next
And I
time.
get you a smile.
All the time.
See you next week.
Murray, out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Murray, he's the downfield.
Oh man, the power's out again.
You have reached Quality Construction and Engineering, your #1 emergency generator source.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life. With a backup generator, your life goes on uninterrupted with power when you need it. Not to mention the peace of mind of having your property suited to weather the storm.
Whoever would have thought in Houston, Texas, that we would have an ice storm? It did happen, and that Sunday night when it came in, I got up and looked out the front door. Everything was pitch black. It was horrible. Something out of a novel or a science book that you had never seen before. Once the lights went out, my generator popped on. It ran 55 hours. And the only one had lights.
Get your backup generator installed with Quality Construction. We install both residential and commercial generators, so you're always covered. Schedule your consultation with us by calling 1-855-876-9370. That's 1-855-876-9370. Or visit us online at www.powerqec.com. That's www.powerqec.com. Financing is available with low monthly payments and 0% interest for 18 months.
That was the best investment that we could have ever made. That's my backup, the generator.
Generators with Quality Construction, built tough enough to weather the storm.
Are your clothes coming apart at the seams? Universal Seamstress and Tailoring has got you covered. At Universal Seamstress and Tailoring, we specialize in a wide variety of alterations and transformations to make and keep your clothes looking and fitting their best. From hem jobs to downsizing suits and dresses for a perfect fit to replacing zippers and buttons, Universal Seamstress and Tailoring is your one-stop shop for clothing maintenance. Also, do you have a logo for your clothes you'd like to wear? Universal Seamstress and Tailoring can put it there. That's right. At Universal Seamstress and Tailoring, we not only do alterations, but embroidery as well. Shirts, pants, coats, hats, even bags. If you can wear it, we can embroider it. So remember, whether it be alterations or embroidering you need, Universal Seamstress and Tailoring has got you covered. Universal Seamstress and Tailoring is located at 1404 Main Street, Fayette, Mississippi. Come and see us or give us a call at 601-786-0540.
I just used your other one though today because it was, look, it did 2 drips and I was like, oh, I can use my umbrella. My homegirl was talking about it. I'm like, don't talk about it.
With our umbrellas, our customers are turning a drab day into a fab day. After all, representation matters. In other words, rain or shine, we've got you covered. Introducing Designs by Deej, your one-stop gift shop for all things handmade and unique. Our products range from our most popular umbrellas, blanket and pillow sets, handmade coasters, and other statement pieces that showcase the beauty of our melanin and natural hair in a beautiful and empowering way. You can find our brand at the sister shop locations in New Jersey and Atlanta, Georgia, or you can visit our website, www.designsbydeej.com. Again, that's www.designsbydeej.com.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166, or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Capital Area Planning Services offers a variety of services catered to your land development needs. We offer landscape design, residential design, land planning, mapping and consulting services, and more. We have over 20 years of design and land planning experience. CAPS LLC offers services to developers, builders, architects, surveyors, contractors, government agencies, and private landowners. Feel free to contact us to find out which services are available in your area. You may reach us at 601-326-2966. That's 601-326-2966. You can also visit us on the web at www.capsllconline.com. Let us put on our thinking caps to serve your land development needs.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scripture and not really understanding what you read? And if you're reasonably sure, have you ever tested that what you feel you know with someone that has a different view than your own? Then let's talk with one another. Then let's reason with one another on a Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 12 noon on WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR, and Comcast Cable. Why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning? You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336,
313-868-0342 or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go live with a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
Myself.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you once again who are hungry and thirsty for the true understanding of the Holy Scriptures and for the truth in general. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. Before entertaining your questions or arguments or whatever, I've thought about a caller that called in last night, and he sounded like he was inebriated, and in other words, sounded like he had been drinking or was half high. You know, in this society, you can learn a lot about how to deal with what a just way of dealing with people are, especially when you see how Caucasian people deal with Caucasian people. You saw an example in that insurrection where one person got shot because she breached the place where the Secret Service was protecting the members of Congress. When she breached that room, she gave her life up for that, because they didn't have permission to be in there, and they were chanting "Hang Mike Pence" and all that kind of thing. So that woman was asking for it, but all of those officers showed great restraint when they didn't pull their guns, and then some of the people, now this is to teach them something that next time, if it is a next time, those people who take it upon themselves to assault officers and that kind of thing, whatever the officer has to do to protect himself, including shooting them, is within his right and within his duty. Because actually they shouldn't have even got in the Capitol. But anyway, as to show you, they hire civilized officers, civilized men and women to guard them. Do you understand? And they don't want them up there just shooting people. But at the same time, there has to be, I'm pretty sure there has been new rules made. But now, in this society, you have the right, you have so many freedoms that you take for granted. You have the freedom to get drunk. they have given you the freedom. Remember now, most religious people, they would force you not to drink. But they don't know they don't have the right to force you to not drink. They can excommunicate you from their presence. But as far as trying to be your keeper, no, there's no compulsion in religion. Do you understand? So the minute people decide that they don't want to abide by our rules, we put them out of our society. I haven't been so strict and stringent in that, but I'm moving towards that. So, don't think that I'm slack simply because I tolerate things that sometimes you be wondering why do I tolerate it? Why do I keep tolerating it from people? Well, that's going to stop. But first, the first thing is you can drink, but they have laws against drinking and driving. So if you out there on the highway exercising your freedom to drink or to do what what the society has deemed that you should have the choice in doing it or not doing it on your own, well, you go to the bar and you have a drink. They tell you should, if you're going to drink, then have a designated driver, somebody who's not going to drink, to take you home. Do you understand? So they fix it where you don't, while you exercising your freedom, you're not putting somebody else's freedom. What it say? You have certain inalienable rights, and the first right is the right to your life. Well, when you drink and drive, you are putting other people's lives in danger because of you are not your motor skills are impaired by that alcohol or by whatever it is you are imbibing, whatever intoxicant you are taking in. All right. Now, I said all of that, but to lay a foundation for what I'm about to say to you. So when the police officer see you kind of zigging and zagging down the highway, or some may be sitting out there in the lot and see you kind of stagger out of there and jump in the car behind the wheel, and he pull you over immediately. Say, no. You can't. You just came out of there, and he put you through the thing to walking the line or whatever, and doing this number, touching your nose and all that stuff. And but you about finna go to jail. Do you understand? Especially when you talking crazy to him. And if it's somebody there that can take you home, he might let you go with them. But if you out on that highway alone in that car, the cuffs going on you, and you gonna be taken in, and your car gonna be impounded. Now, that's because their job is to protect the rights. Protect and serve the people who they represent. To keep everybody from having to be a vigilante, they created a militia called the police force. And one of my brothers told me a long time ago, cops means citizen on patrol. And so I said, oh yeah, that's now I see. And the more I look at this government, in order to keep citizens from having to have everybody packing guns and all of that, they have a militia that is set up to protect all of the people and to protect the people from citizens, from individuals who would do harm to the community. Do you understand? Okay. So if you drink it and they pull you over, the cuffs go on you, you go in the back, and then you explain it to the judge. Because nobody goes into court that was drinking and driving, and you never hardly ever hear somebody say, I didn't know that I couldn't do that. You know good and well you ain't got no business doing that. Do you understand? But anyway, so I remember when I was growing up, some of the most, we would be out on the sidewalk cussing, and we'd be out there, sometimes telling nasty jokes or whatever. And somebody would say, hey, man, don't you see that church there? And he said, let's get out of here, man. And we'd leave. Or if the whole time that I was growing up, I never saw a person stagger in church drunk and start talking crazy to the preacher or whatnot. People knew better. Do you understand? It's just like a drunk driver. When he driving and he see them lights come on behind him, he try his best to straighten up. Why? Because he knows that man behind him is the man he bet not let see him being drunk. Do you understand? So if you come in my class again, this is a serious class. It's a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man. You know that we discuss the Holy Scriptures in here. If you come in here drunk again, I don't care if you're drunk or whatever. If you got inebriated with anything, I'm gonna cast you into hell. I'm not accepting that from you, because you are trying to turn this serious class into a circus, and I'm not gonna have it. Now, I show you respect. If you can't respect me, don't come in contact with me. If you don't feel that you want to respect me, just stay away from me. Because if you disrespect me like that again, I'm gonna cast you into hell. Because not only are you disrespecting me, you're disrespecting all of the serious-minded people who want to hear the word of God, which I am communicating with to them. Now, if you think it's a joke, do it again. Now, who has questions, or did anyone have questions or arguments for me? You remember, I told you, you may be through with conversations that you have with me. But I'm not always through with the conversation I had with you. Because I think I take time to deliberate over what you had to say to me. And sometimes it's just like, learning is like eating. When you finish a meal, when somebody says, are you through eating? You say, yes, I'm through. No, you're not. You're just beginning. You call eating taking in the food. But that's not actually where the eating takes place. The eating takes place in your stomach, by that acid in your stomach that begins to eat away at what you took in and then distribute it into your lower intestines, and your intestines begins to extract the nutrients and expel the package that the nutrients came in. But so, you know, it's like we have conversations with people all of the time. But as I'm taking in that conversation, sometimes I don't really digest it until after the meeting is over. Because something that you said many times will stick in my mind, you know, will come back to my mind. And, you know, I say, oh, they said such and so and such and so and so. And I better make sure that when I come back on, I straighten that out. Do you understand? And that is the way that's the way my mind works. So I tolerate certain things because, you know, it is not just to hold people accountable for your rules when those rules in their mind do not exist. Do you understand? So it's kind of like with the government of the United States. When people was mad because of what happened on Wall Street in 2008 and in 2009, the United States economy was falling off a cliff. Jobs, you know, it was on the way to a depression, and people was upset and asking how come hadn't nobody been arrested. And the president at that time, President Obama, and Vice President Biden, their administration had just took office, and they were left holding the bag. And the president, he came out and told the people the truth. He said what the bankers did and what the people on Wall Street did was immoral, and it was unethical, but there were no laws against it. The job of the president is to enforce the laws that Congress make. If there's no law against what a person did, how can you charge them? You can't charge them with being immoral. There ain't no law against you. You can't legislate morals to people. Do you understand? Okay. Because you get into the weeds there, because that becomes subjective. You know, one man's trash, one man's morality is another man's immorality. Do you understand? So you don't get into them to the weeds there. But and as far as religion goes, everybody does not believe in the Holy Bible. Everybody does not believe in the Holy Quran. So you can't hold people and force people to believe in something that they don't believe in. Do you understand? But you can make rules. You can make laws that everybody has to be held accountable for, and that's why you have 2 representatives from each state in the Senate that will ratify or say no to a law that's trying to be imposed on the people. And in Congress, you have the House of Representatives that's divvied out and made out according to population in states. And so this is the thing is that when something goes wrong, that there are no laws against something people that did that upset the peace of society, then the legislative branch of the government of the United States, which is the Congress, they introduce bills and laws, and once they pass a law, then the president, he can sign it or he can veto it. Do you understand? But once it's signed into law, Now, if you do it, they tell you that's against the law. Now, they always let you know when laws are being passed and made. And so the ignorance of the law ain't gonna be no excuse. Do you understand? And then they, because whenever laws are made, laws are passed, that's generally a big event. And people, the whole country, the news media reports it. Is that right? Okay. So they once they pass a law, they through with it. Now, the Justice Department, which is actually the Attorney General and everything, which is chosen by the President, they began, and career law enforcement people that wasn't chosen by the President. They were hired, so to speak, after being checked out to see if they were the best law abiders that people could find. Do you understand? Because that's what you want. You want people who respect the law to be the enforcers of the law. You don't want people who don't respect your laws to be in charge of enforcing them, because he'll become a lawbreaker while holding other people accountable. He don't hold himself accountable. Do you understand? So that's what the messenger told you about me. He said the black man's nature makes him to tremble in fear at times when he knows that he's far off the path, the right path. And he wasn't lying. I get scared when I know I done overstepped myself. I can't do it, not for long. And so the those who enforce the law must respect the law themselves. And so I'm saying all of this because hell is not a joke, boy. And if I cast you into hell, you're going to realize that ain't no joke. So now, I've warned you. So now, I was informed that Fonnie Willis answered Jim Jordan about his inquiry into state business. I mean, he already was admonished by the district attorney in New York that state business ain't got nothing to do with him or with the United States Congress. They're not law enforcers. They are lawmakers. Do you understand? It's just like when Jim Jordan was getting up there telling these. Actually, he was talking to rednecks, people who don't really understand their own government and how it's set up. Telling them he's going to investigate the Justice Department. What in the hell he got something to investigate the Justice Department with? The Justice Department are the investigators. The FBI are the investigators. Who investigates the FBI? You got nothing to investigate the FBI with. That's why it's so hard for someone to get in the FBI. Because they check you out before they let you in there. You remember? Let me show you something. For a man to tell you that he wants to investigate the FBI or the Justice Department, ask him this. Show me the history of the FBI and Justice Department manufacturing evidence on people. But that's all they do. They investigate and determine whether crimes have been committed and whether they reach a level of criminality that needs to be addressed. Do you understand? That's their job. The Federal Bureau of Investigation. When did they ever investigate someone and put false charges against those people that they investigated? Just name an incident. Any of y'all. Just name an incident. You see, the redneck and the blackneck, you can't reason with them. That's what makes them. It's like the reason they call rednecks and blacknecks is because it's as though the blood stops right there at their neck and don't get up to their brain with oxygen so they can think clearly. And so so they just say redneck, and that's a person who is unreasonable, unable to reason. I should say unwilling to reason. And so, if you can show that the FBI or the Justice Department has in the past did underhanded things, manufactured evidence so they could arrest somebody. When did that ever happen? Especially against white people. Of course, you can't find that with white or black people in the FBI. Now, you can find some states, especially down here in this Mississippi and all these places, where they prosecuted and manufactured evidence against people. Do you understand? But even in these states here, you kind of pushed to find them manufacturing evidence against white people. So here, Jim Jordan, he's got a slim majority. So they got a slim majority in the House of Representatives, and so they trying to manufacture investigations. Now that's they manufacturing stuff. Do you understand? I even hear a thing about Hunter Biden bought a gun while he was inebriated or something on drugs or whatnot. He bought a gun, and they want to prosecute him for that. I mean, really, man. I mean, you reaching, ain't you? I mean, people. You got people that's got guns that bought them while they were sober and got drunk with them and went out there with them. So what are you talking about? But anyway, I want to, just like, eventually I know that if President Biden ain't said nothing yet, I'm pretty sure when this counts, he gonna defend his family from all these lies you talking about, the Biden crime family and all that kind of thing. What crimes have you seen in the history of President Biden? What crimes in his history do you find him committing? You finding all kind of crimes in the Trump family. See, I'm sick of you all. He ought to sue him. If not him, Hunter should sue them. But anyway, this is I think Popak and Ben Marcellus talking about this letter. This the second time a district attorney, at least the second time that I know of, that a district attorney done wrote Jim Jordan and told him in so many words to stay in his lane. You understand? Interfering in state affairs is that he ain't got no right to be interfering in a prosecution in a state. That's out of his jurisdiction.
From the Midas Touch Network, Fulton County District Attorney Fawny Willis just sent a powerful letter back to MAGA Republican Jim Jordan, who chairs the House Judiciary Committee. This is one of the most powerful letters, the ultimate clapback to Jim Jordan trying to interfere in the criminal case.
Now, understand something. MAGA does not mean Make America Great Again. It means mayhem, anarchy, godlessness, autocrats. You hear me? Just like I told you, the NRA was the National Russian Association. See, they love to play games with wording of things on you. And you found out that the NRA had been secretly being funneled money by Russia. But, so remember now that MAGA, it means mayhem. You seen on them State Farm commercials? Was that State Farm? Mayhem, anarchy, godlessness. What was a chant? Hang Mike Pence! Hang Mike Pence! Hang Mike Pence! That's another way of saying murder Mike Pence! Murder Mike Pence! Let him be crucified! That's what they was hollering, screaming about Jesus, wasn't it? Let him be crucified. But what crime did he commit? Let him be crucified. They never did say what crime he committed, huh? What crime did Mike Pence commit? They want to kill Mike Pence because he would not break the law. Godlessness. And who was the people hollering, let Jesus be crucified? The very people who claim to believe in God. Huh? Who's supporting Donald Trump? The very people who claim to believe in God. Supporting a man that every time he opened his mouth, lying. A man that gets out in the public and boasts that he wants hearings and he's being treated unjustly. And then when he get a chance to go in court and show how he's being treated unjustly, he said he don't want to go in there. He wouldn't take the stand to straighten out the lies that people been telling on him. But he sure don't mind taking the microphone on Fox News and Newsmax and all them places and opening his mouth. And every time he opens his mouth, he gives the prosecutors more evidence against him. But anyway,
Fulton County. And let me just give you some of the highlights by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis in this letter. She calls Jim Jordan and the MAGA Republicans' effort to interfere with her criminal case offensive, that it violates fundamental constitutional principles. And then she says to Jim Jordan, may I suggest that you go read a book on RICO law in Georgia or in other states? And she says, if you want to go and buy this book, she says what the book is. She goes, here's where you can buy it. And as a non-member of the bar, it will cost you about $249 to buy the book because MAGA Republican Jim Jordan is not a licensed lawyer. So you have Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis throwing appropriate shade there. Let's go talk about some of the most powerful points of this letter, discuss the letter in general, but let me just remind you of why Fani Willis is writing this letter, because after Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis obtained the indictment of Donald Trump and 18 other co-defendants in the sprawling RICO case, MAGA Republican Jim Jordan and MAGA Republican James Comer and all of the cult MAGA members.
Now remember, the optimum word was obtained. Fani Willis didn't indict Jim Jordan. The people of Georgia indicted. Fani Willis didn't indict Donald Trump and all them people. The people of the state of Georgia indicted those people. Fani Willis produced evidence, but it was up to the Georgia grand jurists, common people with common sense. They indicted them people. Do you understand? See, this is what Donald Trump and all those people want to take away from you, the power to do. You see, the people had the power to indict or to not indict. The district attorney is the servant of the people. They find all the evidence and they present it to the grand jury. And the grand jury, regardless to how much evidence they bring, if the grand jury decide that, no, we don't think that that person should be indicted, well, the district attorney ain't got no more they can do. Do you understand? In an autocracy, there is no grand jury. The people don't have that power. You understand? People don't have no say-so in nothing, except what the autocrat, except what the dictator decide. Whatever that dictator decide, that's what it is. And then most dictators, they have large armies, of people mostly made up of people who just wanted a job, and they are more mercenaries than they are soldiers. Do you understand? Because better to be part of the enforcers than to be part of those who are being enforced. Do you understand? So, that's why dictatorships never have, you've never had a successful dictatorship. Because in order for a dictatorship to be successful, the dictator must be a benevolent person. A benevolent dictatorship, then that is the best form of government. But other than that, all you have is tyrants. No matter how their intentions may start off, they may start off with good intentions and they wind up, as they're saying, the road to hell is paved with what? Good intentions. See? So, here Jim Jordan is not a lawyer. Now, this is something that I think that the citizens of the United States now, because there are laws and rules that govern the society. Now, this society is set up. It's already a work in progress. If a person is not a lawyer, you should not allow them to be in your Congress. You know, and I'll tell you something else, that to keep the thing from being rigged, everyone that goes into that want to go into law or government, if you elect them, then you should put them through law school. You should, and I'm talking about a crash course. I'm not talking about go through or jumping through all them hoops like they do now, because there was a time when you could, in this country, back in the 80s, I think it was, or 70s, for sure, before black people started being allowed to practice law. When white people were practicing law, a lawyer could take another white man or woman under their wing and take them into court, and they would learn to practice law by just on-the-job training, and they would be teaching them. And then when they felt that, when the lawyer that was their sponsor, when he felt or she felt that that person was ready, they could just start practicing law. They changed it when it came to black people, and I think black people and women. But for the most part, you can learn to practice law just by going to court with people and learning, you know, reading the law books and the canons and different things, and familiarizing yourself with cases and whatnot, and then you could practice law. But you got these people sitting up in the Congress making laws that don't know nothing about law. That's why ain't nothing getting done up there. They don't know what the purpose of the Congress is. The Congress has a very, very important but defined job. They are legislators, not investigators. They are legislators. You see something that is being done that is creating division or creating unrest in the society, then we must put laws out there to make that illegal. Do you understand? So they make laws, and to make that thing which is hindering the peaceful coexistence of the citizens between one another, the laws are designed to bring about a more perfect union. You understand? But they ain't legislating nothing up there. They're too busy trying to turn the legislature into a shadow investigation thing, when they can't investigate anything. And I'll tell you something else. Because things have been turned around so much that the country is sailing along pretty smoothly now, they have to create some rough waters, so they manufacture some investigations and make you think that something is going on crooked and all this kind of thing, when it's not. And to show you the hypocrisy there, everybody saw the crookedness that Donald Trump was doing, and Jim Jordan never opened his mouth. None of them people who call themselves Republicans opened their mouth. So, but anyway, let's let them. I wanted to hear this because I was out there working on the duct work for the the central heating and cooling, and I didn't get a chance to hear none of this. So.
Who disgrace our country every day. In the House of Representatives, they do what we've seen. They run the same game over and over again, right? Like same thing, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg during his criminal investigation, and then after a grand jury indicted Donald Trump in New York, MAGA Republicans act as Donald Trump's basically unlicensed legal defense counsel, and they go try to use the federal government to interfere with state criminal cases and state criminal investigations. And at the same time, the MAGA Republicans are like, oh, we're for states' rights, except when we're not for it, and then we're just purely for fascism like we always are. So then here, they ran the same game again. They sent a letter to Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis demanding documents, demanding answers. And she's like, okay, I have my own sovereign powers as a state prosecutor in Georgia. You have no right to ask me any of these questions. I am prosecuting a case. I am following my legal obligations as a prosecutor. You don't know what you are talking about, Jim Jordan. So here are some of the highlights. She goes, in this letter, she goes to Jim Jordan, your notion that different standards of justice should apply to a select group of people is offensive. She writes, Defendant Trump's status as a political candidate cannot make him illegally immune from criminal prosecution. And she goes, here is the reality that you must face, Jim Jordan. Those who wish to avoid felony charges in Fulton County, Georgia, including violations of Georgia's RICO law, should not commit felonies in Fulton County, Georgia, Jim Jordan. And then Fani Willis says, let me give you an explanation of what the basic obligations of a prosecutor are. And then she sets that out. And then she goes, for a more thorough understanding of Georgia's RICO statute, its application, and similar laws in other states, I encourage you to read RICO State by State. It's a book. As a non-member of the bar, you can purchase a copy for $249. Again, pointing out that Jim Jordan is not a licensed lawyer. That's part of the audacity here as well. It's not just his utter corruption, his obsequiousness to Trump, his willingness to turn America into a fascist dictatorship. Yes, he's also not a licensed lawyer. Like, MAGA Republicans put unqualified people in critical positions over our lives, and I think that that is something that we all must not forget as well. Here's the letter, though, just sent on September 7, 2023. You see, Office of the Fulton County District Attorney, from District Attorney Fani Willis to Congressman Jim Jordan. Here's what it says. Dear Jordan, dear Mr. Jordan, I have received your letter dated August 24th, 2023. On August 14th, 2023, a Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment charging 19 defendants with felony violations of Georgia's law. Beyond the recitation of charges, your letter contains inaccurate information and misleading statements. The true bill of indictment returned on August 14th is attached as Exhibit A. Then her letter says, your attempt to interfere with and obstruction of this office's prosecution of state criminal case is unconstitutional. Then she explains the Constitution to Jim Jordan. As you know, Chairman Jordan, the congressional power of inquiry is not unlimited. Congress is not a law enforcement or trial agency. That function is reserved only for the executive and judicial departments of government. Moreover, investigations conducted solely for the personal aggrandizement of the investigators or to punish those investigated are indefensible. More fundamentally, a congressional subpoena is valid only if it's related to and in furtherance of a legitimate task of Congress. And that is actually citing a case where Donald Trump tried to hide his tax records, Trump versus Mazars, which is now United States Supreme Court precedent. Your letter offends each and every one of these settled principles. Its obvious purpose is to obstruct a Georgia criminal proceeding and to advance outrageous partisan misrepresentations. As I make clear below, there is no justification in the Constitution for Congress to interfere with a state criminal matter, as you attempt to do. Furthermore, your note calls to mind another letter recently submitted to a House Select Committee. Quote, "This unprecedented action serves no legitimate legislative purpose and would set a dangerous precedent for future Congresses. The American people deserve better." That's a letter from Jordan to Chairman Benny Thompson on January 9th, 2022.
60% of U.S. pork production comes from one company owned by China. A company called ractopamine, which is banned in 100.com/.
There are extremely good legislative functions of, in addition, pluralism. Hands in your letter and your efforts at intruding upon the state of Georgia's criminal authority violate constitutional principles of federalism. Criminal prosecution under state law are primarily the responsibility of state governments. Congress's lawful prerogative to interfere with states' administration of their criminal laws is extremely limited. Next, she says, your letter transgresses separation of powers principles. In addition, your demand for information regarding an ongoing criminal prosecution, a core executive function, is offensive to any notion of separation of powers that recognizes the distinct roles of the executive and legislative functions of government. The next point she makes, your letter improperly interferes with the administration of criminal justice. There are extremely good reasons why congressional committees have historically avoided interfering with criminal trial proceedings. Sharing non-public information about pending criminal matters may violate local and state confidentiality obligations and professional ethics rules. It may also prejudice defendants, victims, or witnesses, or affect the overall integrity of proceedings. Next, she explains, your letter burdens the deliberative process privilege. And then she says, my voluntary responses to portions of your letter are below. So she schools Jim Jordan in what the...
Understand something. What you see Donald Trump and people like Jim Jordan and all of them do when they are made privy to the evidence that is to be, they have a right not Jim Jordan, because he ain't been charged with nothing, but they have what is called discovery. And the idea of discovery is that a person who is accused has a right to know everything of evidence that's going to be presented against them, so that they can mount a defense, if they have a defense, against what is going to be presented. It is not given to them to go out and discuss it in the public, because the public is where the jury pool is going to come from. Do you understand? And the jury pool, in order for it to be a fair and just hearing, then all the evidence should be kept out of the public arena and presented in the courtroom. Do you understand? And so, you know, this is that's the you know, it's kind of like a you notice they when you get a law license, they give you what they call a doctorate, because you notice a doctor, the root word of it is dock, and you notice ships come into docks. Is that right? Okay. Now, when you look at a doctor has the job and the supposedly the knowledge to look at you and treat you like a ship when it comes into the dock. Sometimes they go into dry dock for repair. Do you understand? But the human being comes into the doctor's office for repair. And the doctor, with his knowledge, after questioning you and looking at your history and whatnot, they prescribe something for you. Do you understand? Likewise, the attorneys, they supposed to know law, and the person who's accused of offending or breaking the law, the district attorney is there to prescribe not only the law that was broken, and to describe that and to show how it was broken by this person. And then the person has to show that, no, I didn't really do that. Do you understand? And, you know, so both of them, you know, and it's all about also interpreting law. Do you understand? You heard the man try to interpret that all them people was trying to do was elect a president. So millions of people should be in here since that is what the Trump people was trying to do. They was trying to elect a president. So he twisted what was actually going on. He misinterpreted it, you know. So, but it's up to the district attorney to straighten out what he misinterpreted. Do you understand? He was giving people another way of looking at what was done. You know, it's like they tried to do in the insurrection, tried to convince you that what you was looking at was tourists, not insurrectionists. Do you understand? And they was using the term tourists, what you call loosely, because you did see a Confederate flag walking through there. And so a tourist, someone from another country, is considered a tourist when they going through your capital or someplace, or going through your town or whatnot. If they're not from the United States and they just visiting, that's a tourist. You understand? So those people, they did not recognize the U.S. government. You see? What is it, son?
So is that why they use that term tours in the Army too? When you're overseas, you're doing a tour because you just visit?
Yes, when you're on a tour of duty, then notice, a tour of duty don't necessarily mean you're a tourist. But if you can be sent wherever the United States has interest of sending you as a soldier or a Marine or whatnot, and then yes, you are on a tour of duty, you see, and that just means you traveling wherever they send you. But these people, you notice, they never accepted Joe Biden as the president. Do you understand? So they make themselves tourists, and their president is Donald Trump, like the Jefferson Davis. He was the president of the Confederacy. Do you understand? And they didn't recognize Abraham Lincoln. And so they took up arms against the United States. And they didn't pay the price that they should have had. The leaders should have been made to pay the ultimate price. And that would have been a solid deterrent. I mean, you rose up to try to destroy the United States. If you had had your way, you would have murdered the whole government. You shouldn't be walking around sucking air. Because you took up arms against this country, and showed that if you had your way, this country wouldn't exist. Go ahead. What is it?
Yes, sir. We have Jeff Eldridge on Truth Social, and he says only one Son of Man has ever existed.
You're right. I'm the only one that is made flesh. The rest was the Word. And that's why it's written in the Holy Scriptures. It says, and the Word was made flesh. It's just like many people. Matter of fact, tell him to come in, because I know he had more to say. I'm going to let you read what he had to say, but I had to stop it there because, it's certain things that people say that is true. There's only one Son of Man, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son of Man. Do you understand? Okay, now, what's his name?
Jeff Eldridge.
Now, this is the kind of conversations that I enjoy having. Now, send him the number and let him call in, and then I will let him not only proffer what he had to say, but let him come in and explain what he meant by it and whatnot. Read the whole thing.
Yes, sir. He says, only one Son of Man has ever existed. Your friend is blaspheming God.
Okay. See, he's not even talking to me. He's trying to talk to somebody else about me. Don't you think that you should, let's see here. I've shown you many, many works. If you go online, you've been online and saw the school. You've seen us build. I led my followers into building their own school. We built our own auto repair shop. We built our own tailoring facility, our own bakery. You see me doing all of these things. Now, what have you seen me do that you consider blasphemy? Now, this is, was the works that I did evil? Are those things that you see me doing for my brothers and sisters and getting them to help me do? What evil have you seen me inviting them to help me do? I'm waiting on your answer. Because let me show you how you all. Was that all he had to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You sent him the number?
Yes, I sent it to him twice.
See, because even though he's changing the subject, we wasn't really on the subject. I was just commenting on these people who. That's what he's really upset about. He's upset because I've taken away their ability to hide what's really going on inside of them. These people don't believe in the truth. For instance, he don't believe what he wrote there. How do you know he don't believe it? see, I'm showing you that I'm the judge. I know how to look into people. You know, that inspired song that the woman wrote, it says, "He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat." You see, it's certain conversations that you can have with people where they think that they are hiding their true feelings. But as you question them and talk with them, their true feelings are made manifest while they think they are hiding them. Do you understand? Read what he said again.
Yes, sir. Jeff Eldridge says, "Only one Son of Man has ever existed. Your friend is blaspheming God."
Okay. See, that is the truth. There's only one Son of Man that has ever existed. Now, he's saying that I'm blaspheming. I assume he's talking about me. That I'm blaspheming God. Okay. Well, who is the Son of Man that you are saying is the one Son of Man? Come on in and let's talk about it. You see, he don't believe that. That's why he ain't coming in here. Then he'll punk himself by still writing while I'm inviting him. You know how you know somebody talking about what they can do and all of that, and say, "Well, come on in this ring with me," and then he keeps sitting there talking, but he ain't getting up to come in here. What is?
Yes, sir. This is someone else with the screen name "Vote Them Out of Office," and he says, "What is the Son of Man?"
Well, tell your friend now. I just asked him, who is the Son of Man? So I'm waiting on your friend there on Truth Social to answer us. Because I just told you I'm the Son of Man. So I know you're not asking me who is the Son of Man or what is the Son of Man. I'm standing up here. I'm the Son of Man. But now, I want to hear from, I assume that question you are pointing to your buddy there. To your fellow Truth Social person.
They call truthers.
They call themselves truthers? Okay, well, come on in here, because I love the truth. So me and you should get along fine if you are a truther. So come on in and let's reason with each other about the truth. You see, you can't fake it with me. You can fake it with other people. Now let me read to you. You came right out of the book here. It says in the 31st verse of the 10th chapter of John, it says, "Then the Jews took up stones again to stone Jesus. And Jesus answered them, or asked them, he said, 'Many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me?' And the Jews answered him, saying, 'For a good work we stoned you not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou being a man makest thyself God.' And Jesus answered them and said, 'Is it not written in the book of Psalms, the 82nd chapter and the 6th verse, I have said, ye are gods? Then if he called them gods unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture can be made into a lie, then you say ye of him whom the Father have sanctified and sent into the world, that thou blasphemest, because I said I'm the Son of God? If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, though you believe not me, believe the works, that you may know and believe that the Father is in me, and I am in him.'" And so, you're not the first. You just reruns. That's all y'all are. I told you. It's like that song that Guns N' Roses made, but actually Mick Jagger. I was told that Mick Jagger was the first one that made it. Sympathy for the Devil. As he said, please allow me to introduce myself. He said, I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for long, long years, and I've stole many men's souls and faith. He said, I was around when Jesus, the Christ, had his moments of doubt and pain. And I'm the one that made sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his fate. He said, pleased to meet you. He said, hope you've guessed my name. Do you understand? He said, oh, but what's puzzling you is the nature of my game. Meaning what? I'm put here. That's what he was saying. The devil was put here to create confusion in your mind, to cause you to doubt when the word of God came to you. Do you understand? You see, I take away doubt from people. That's why none of them want to come in here. A liar shall not what? Shall not tarry in my sight. You see, the minute a man tell you that I'm not the real Son of Man, then it's time for him to tell you who the real Son of Man is. Isn't that right? You see? But if I wasn't the real Son of Man, what are you doing in here? Listening to me. Ain't that's like Pluto saying that ain't the sun, but it's in orbit around the sun. If I wasn't the sun, then it wouldn't be so many people who don't like me still in my orbit. I didn't hear you. Yeah. You know why they can't stop listening? It's because they have no proof that I'm not who I claim to be. And they know that means they are damned. Because they don't accept me. And it ain't no good feeling walking around knowing that you're damned. But as the book says, he that believeth not on the Son is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Do you understand? And Jesus told him that. You see. So my name is the Word of God. And because you have not believed in my name, you are damned. You're condemned. And so they have to keep listening to try to find something that will justify. You remember when I asked people, come in here and tell me why you don't follow me, and tell other people why they should not follow me. None of them show up, huh? You see? I mean, it's people that's in my circle that I told you. The people that claim they my followers, and they not following me. I mean, I know it. You know, but I ain't run nobody off. They're going to run themselves off eventually. You understand? You know, this is not a game. So, did he answer you? Did he?
No, sir. Silence.
So, Ben Marcellus, I didn't know if, I guess Popak is not in there, but this is that letter from Fonnie Willis. What is it, son?
So it looks like he deleted what he asked, what he said.
Well, you know, that's up to him. I mean, I'm not here to play games with these people. He deleted it, fine. You know, but don't come in here with foolishness. You know, I'm not a person that you want to play with. Don't you get confused just because I look like you. You know, I'm a human being, yeah, That's all we got in common. Now the other man, I guess I'll answer his question, because he said, "What is the Son of Man?" The Son of Man is the mind that's in me, and this is this is in the book of John, the first chapter. In the first chapter of John, and in the second and third chapter of Ezekiel. Now, in the first chapter of John, it says, I'm going to start at the 10th verse. It says, "He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not." You see, there was a time when, speaking of the truth, we couldn't say he. We simply said, "It is the truth." Do you understand? But that was because the truth had not yet been made flesh. You see? So it says, "He came unto his own, and his own rejected him. His own received him not. But as many as received him," you notice when you knock on the door, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man will receive me, will hear my voice, I will come in and sup with him." So that's one of the when you receive a person who, it may be a stranger or whatnot, and you let them in, you are their host. I am the Lord of hosts. Do you understand? Jesus was a host to the truth. Moses was a host to the truth. Isaiah and David and Solomon and Muhammad and all of them, they received the truth. They accepted the truth. And so they were hosts to the truth. And because they were hosts to the truth, then the truth supplicated with them. Do you understand? That mind that was in them became one with the truth that they accepted. And so when you look at the Torah, that is Moses. The Torah was Moses. The gospel was Jesus. The Quran was Muhammad. Do you understand? And so they are absent from that body. As Paul said, he said, "We prophesy in and now we know in part and we prophesy in part." And so he said, but when that which is perfect is come, that which is complete is come, the part's going to be done away with. Do you understand? And so it's just like we have a brother who received the first degree ever issued in this country in the field of urban forestry, because that degree, the curriculum to receive that degree had to be first created before it could have a first student. You understand? Or a first product. So he received the first degree in urban forestry. And so I'm the firstborn of the Holy Scriptures. I'm the firstborn of God. The Word is God. And I'm the first one that is born of the Word that you call Holy Scriptures. In other words, I've been reborn. You understand? Okay. And I'm the first one. That's why I'm the only one who can stand up and explain it. You see. So I am, as I told you, the man told the truth. There's only one Son of Man. And that's me. And so it says, but as many as received him, to them gave he knowledge to become the sons of God. And as 1 John says, behold what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Do you understand? The reason it said it like that was, and in actuality, they were the sons who produced me. And that sons there should have been spelled S-U-N. Because each one of them was the light of the world when they was in the world. Do you understand? Like the stars, you see. And so they are called the stars of heaven. You understand? And then it says, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of sinful man, but of God. They were born of the Word. And it says, and the Word was made flesh. The Word that they brought is what I was told to eat up. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought the book to me. And that's over in Ezekiel. In the 2nd chapter, in the 8th verse, it says, but thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open your mouth and recite that which I give thee. That's how you eat a book. You recite it. Do you understand? And if you can understand what you're reciting, then you are eating. If you can't understand what you're reciting, then you're not eating. You understand? Okay, so it says, and when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. A hand was sent unto me. Have you ever noticed that when King Solomon, they got a saying that King Solomon, he had sent servants to try to raise the architect. But every time one of the servants came and tried to raise the architect, the meat would start falling off the bone. Do you understand? They could not bring him up, and he stick to the truth that that's the meat falling off the bone. When you can't stick to the truth, like Malcolm, he couldn't stick to it, he fell away. All of them fell away. But so the king himself had to come and show him how to raise that man. And so he used a lion's paw, or a lion's grasp. The Lion of the tribe of Judah, he hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. That was Elijah. And Elijah, he raised me, and he kept the meat on the bone. Do you understand? You notice I hold on to, I stick to what he taught. And so it says, and a hand was sent unto me, and that's why the messenger told me. He said, if I have 40 million helpers, he said, they are helping me. He said, but I'm the only one that Allah will hold responsible for you not getting the truth, son of man. And so he, remember, if you looked at that book, it didn't say message to the black men in America. It said message to the black man in America. And it said the black man. Then not a black man. It said the black man. Why? If you say bring me the book, and there's a whole lot of books over there, the next thing you ask is which one? Because you understand that the means one in particular. Is that right? Okay. Then it says, and he spread it before me. I remember Brother Donald told me, he said, the messenger said, if a lot of us knew the truth, we just gone back in the grave now. What was the truth? That he wasn't here to raise up everybody. He was here to raise one man. That's me. That's why he kept on making so many people ministers and telling them, you can preach, but this is what you got to go out there and say. And because he wanted that message to get to my ears. Do you understand? And so he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that which thou findest. And you know you are what you eat. And so, as I ate the book, I became the book. And the word, as the 14th verse of the first chapter of John says, and the word was made flesh, and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory. We beheld his wisdom and knowledge and understanding. It says, the glory, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. You notice, don't make no difference how long I stand up here and talk. I'll still be the only one talking. Can't nobody offer anything to contradict what I'm saying. It's because I'm not, as they say, seeking the truth. I am the truth. You see? So that's what the book told you. The word, the truth, was made flesh and dwelt among us. So now you can't, that's how I took the book out of your hand. See, as long as nobody was produced, no one mind was produced out of the book, could nobody claim to be an expert so everybody could give their own opinions. But once the book produced the first mind, well then, that do away with all the guessing. That do away with all opinions. Because now, as it says, the Word was God. And now God is in the flesh. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. That's what David told you in the 100 Psalms. And in the 12th chapter of Matthew, in the 8th verse, it says, for the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath day. Letting you know that the day that the Sabbath day should come, that's the day that the Lord himself will be here, the Son of Man. And the messenger told you. He said, who will this God be? He said, the Son of Man. Yes. I'm the grantor of dominion today. I'm the one who can grant you dominion over all of the things that's troubling you, black brother and sister. You run around here begging these white people to don't treat you bad and don't do this. Ain't no sense you begging them. Have you ever seen a bully that you could beg your way out of getting beat up by? No. No, he got to know you can put something on his behind. Then he'll leave you alone. Everybody learning that they best leave me alone. So, because I can put something on your behind. And if you don't believe it, you come in here clowning. You better go and look at Doom. At the end of it, they told you, that they laid it on the line and said, and his word carries death eternal to whoever stands and opposes the righteous. Huh? Just my word is sufficient. Now, yes, what is it?
Yes, sir. You have another question, this time on YouTube. Irma Patton says, Minister Farrakhan is almost 90, if not 90. He walked with Elijah Muhammad. He was taught by Elijah, and he said he's Christ and he is the last messenger that Elijah appointed. So what do you have to say about that?
When you say Minister Farrakhan, Malcolm walked and talked with the messenger. There's a whole lot of people. Abbas Rasul walked and talked with the messenger. You don't even know him, more than likely. The National Secretary, Abbas Rasul. It's a whole lot of people walked and talked with the messenger. Abdul Rahman, Abdul Karim. A whole lot of them walked and talked with the messenger. For Minister Farrakhan to say that he's Christ shows that he don't understand the scriptures. This is not the day of Christ. This is the day of the Lord and his Christ. You see, the kingdoms of this world have now become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ. You see, because Christ is all of the prophets collectively, and all of them, they were told to bear me witness. Show me one that bears Farrakhan witness. Even the name Farrakhan. If he had been told what his name meant, then he would have known that the messenger saw him, that Farrakhan was faking. As the messenger called him Farrakhan, and then he didn't tell him the meaning of his name. He said, I will tell you the meaning of your name in the hereafter. Well, now I've told him the meaning of his name. Fari actually means forger of lies. And Kanis is a word which means he hid himself. And you put the two together. Forger of lies who hid himself. And you listen to him tell you how when he first met the messenger and all of that kind of stuff. And he give you two versions of the same story. And to show you that both of them is a lie. You see? He even said he had been looking for somebody to help the black man all his life. He was lying. And he manifested that when he said, when he first met the messenger, he said, oh my goodness, his verb and subject agreement is just not right. If he was looking for somebody, he had found somebody. But he condemned the messenger when he first met him. It's not a one of us. What I look like stand up here telling you I was looking for somebody to help black people? I'd be lying just like he'd be lying. He was lying. I wasn't looking for nothing. I was dead, mentally and spiritually. I didn't know nothing. I joined the Marine Corps. I wasn't looking for nobody to help black people. I wasn't even dissatisfied. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I had pretty much gave up on this world. I became disinterested. So I was just working in, living in the world. I sure wasn't of it, because just nothing attracted me anymore. So when I heard the teachings of Islam for the first time in my life, I felt like I belonged. And so there. And I did belong. I was a nervous wreck before I came into Islam. But, there's many people running around here saying all kind of things that they ain't got no proof of. But I'm not one of them people. Everything I say, I have proof, and I got scriptures to back me up. Where's your scriptures to back up Farrakhan being Christ. The scripture says Christ is a body of people, not one individual. You see? So I don't wish no ill on brother, but he's just another confused brother that needs guidance, and I'm here with the guidance, and it's not my fault if he reject me. That's his fault, because I have the guidance. There's not a one of you out there that can open up the Holy Scriptures and teach the understanding of it, because you can't teach the understanding of the Scriptures, because the understanding of the Scriptures is already in the Scriptures. The only thing you can do is guide to the understanding that the Scripture has, and I'm the only one that Allah has given that key to. That's why it's written, when He, the Spirit of truth, is come, He will guide you into all truth. Because Allah already said He sent the book down fully explained. You see? You claiming to be Christ and claiming to be this and that. You ain't no Christ. You ain't no one person Christ. Christ is a body of people. And the Christ means the anointed. You see? In fact, God ain't been anointed. He even confessed that God don't speak to him. How in the world you anointed with God's word if God don't speak to you? So, you all just don't know. Never forget the good that I got from Minister Farrakhan and all of the ministers that were helping the messenger, that helped him to teach me. And so, you know, I don't hate the brother or nothing. I'll be glad to meet with him anytime. And there's lots of things that I would like to do for him and you, but y'all won't let me. So what can I say? Did anyone else have something they wanted to ask me? So I'm gonna let Ben Marcellus finish this letter. Boy, you know the black woman is they something, ain't it? We got some smart women. Man, I look at all these black women as lawyers and district attorneys and all of this stuff. I said, boy, the black woman is really something. Yes, sir. What is it?
Yes, sir. Irma Patton has another question. And she says, I would like to ask the dear brother, does he believe, like Farrakhan believes, that Elijah Muhammad and Master Farad Muhammad are on that so-called wheel in the sky?
No, ma'am, I don't believe that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad ain't on no wheel or nothing. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad he passed away. And Master Farad Muhammad, well, I don't know. I'll answer you like the messenger did. When the messenger was asked once, where is Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad? And the messenger said, he is where he is. And meaning he, Allah, is where Master Farad Muhammad is. He is with him. And wherever that is. And then he was asked once by the Japanese interviewer, is Farad, where is he? Is he alive still? The messenger said, I don't know. he said, well, is it a secret? He said, no, it's not so much a secret. I just don't know where he is. And there's no need to know where he is if you read Message to the Black Man, because when Master Farad Muhammad left here, he told the messenger, he said, "You don't need me anymore." And that was that. And so the messenger said, "Oh, yes, I do." But who knew best? See? So the messenger, he said, once death put me to sleep, he said, "Let me remain asleep, that I'm not conscious that I'm asleep. And I don't want to get conscious that I'm asleep if I have to come back to that same grave." He said, "There's no such thing as a man dying and then coming back." He said, "One or two words can stop that kind of talk." He said, anybody come to you telling you that, tell him, show him to you. He said, "Well, Jesus did it." He said, "Tell him, show him to you." And that'll stop their mouth. They're sitting up talking about the messenger and Master Farad Muhammad on the mothership. That ain't nowhere in the messenger's teaching. That's them making up something to try to justify you not looking for what the messenger told you was coming after him. The messenger told you that the one coming after him is the Son of Man. That's what he told you. He said that you ain't nobody coming behind me but God. I better tell you that. And he said that he said, "I'm Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of Allah to you all." He said, and I will let you hear him. Let me see here. I like to let's see here. Let's see here. I like to let's see, this might be it here. Just a moment.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to know if the Nation of Islam teaches of a heaven and hell as in Christianity.
No, not like Christianity, but it teaches of a heaven and a hell. But not in the same way that Christianity teaches. We teach a heaven and a hell while you live. You cannot be tormented in hell if you're not alive. You gotta be alive to feel the torment. And if you're in a heaven, you gotta be alive to feel the joys of heaven.
Then so there is no such thing as a life after death then?
No, if you are referring to a physical death, a physical death does not fall in a life. It's physical death. But if you are referring to a spiritual death, that is true, being dead to the Spirit of God. You don't have His Spirit in you, and then we call you dead.
So, anyway, I thought I had put that in here already, but I'm going to have to listen to my theology of time again and then show you where the messenger, I'll let you hear him say it, because he told everybody that there's no coming back after you dead. Jesus and nobody else. Say after you physically dead, there ain't no coming back. And he said one or two words can stop that kind of teaching. He said, tell them, show them to you. That's what he said. So, these people, they lie to you. Let me see. But he told you that who would come after him. And he told you who was going to judge you. He told you that the Son of Man is your judge. And I'm judging the world now. I'm talking to the whole world. And judging them.
Greetings to you. I'm Elijah Muhammad, the preacher of freedom, justice, and equality to you, my poor black people who has been lost in the wilderness of North America for the last 400 or more years. You, my dear beloved brothers and sisters that is listening to my voice on this album, I would that you pay good attention to it. Our subject is the judgment. Judgment has been taught, and we have been warned that it is a day coming that we all will be judged. And whosoever Allah has mercy upon, that person have a great reward bestowed upon him. Because we live in a world guided by the open enemy, the devil himself. Therefore, being lost from our own people, wherein there was no one to teach us, no one to help us. All teachers was prevented from teaching us a very pitiful condition. Our fathers fell in when captured by our enemies, the open devil, in our native land. Through deceit, here we are today on trial before the God who will judge us all. Who will this God be? The Son of Man, both Bible and Holy Quran declares. He will be a man, a son from a man, son of man.
So that is made very clear and plain to you that the messenger told you that the Son of Man is the judge. Now, in the theology of time, he also told you that it is not that God will stay among us in person. Let me see here. This is it here.
You're going to Japan, Korea, what's in person? He could put you at his servant's mercy. It's up from your enemy in mind. It's up. We mean good for you. You can't get up from your enemy in mind. His up was cut off before the appearance of Allah. Allah cut his up off so that he could put you at his servant's mercy. It is not that Allah, God, will stay among us in person, but he raises up one, just like himself, having the same idea. For the appearance of Allah. Allah cut his up off so that he could put you at his servant's mercy. It is not that Allah, God, will stay among us in person, but he raises up one, just like himself, having the same idea.
And that's what he was referring to when he said that this teaching would rise a powerful Son of Truth, and the Spirit of Truth from this part of our planet among us, whom God hath raised up in the nation of Islam. That teaching is what raised me. He raised up one just like himself. And this is over here in the book of Revelation. You heard the old saying, it take one to make one. Take one to know one. Do you understand? If I was not the one that these books was referring to, when it says that that which is perfect is come, then why is the misunderstanding of the book being done away with by me? If I hadn't told you that God means grantor of dominion, you would have never known that that was an acronym. I had to teach you that. Do you understand? And right here in the first chapter of the book of Revelation, it says in the 10th verse, I'm going to start reading there. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. Here again, what is the Lord's day? The Sabbath day. The end of the time of this world and the beginning of a new time and a new world. And so I was in the Spirit of truth on the Lord's day and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet. And you know they say that the Gabriel will sound his trumpet on the judgment day. Huh? And you notice the trumpet is used as a symbol of the truth that the man of God would speak in the Sabbath day, because no matter how many instruments are playing, and they can be playing as loud as they can play, but when that trumpet hits his high note, you can hear the trumpet above all of them. That trumpet is has a sound that penetrates beyond the rest of them. Do you understand? That's why you can hear me above all of this confused noise that you hear coming out of other people. Do you understand? And they can't come in here and say nothing to contradict me because they scared of questions. A liar can't come to me. Now it says, I heard a voice, as it says, behind me. You notice I come at the behind all of them. I didn't go before them. I came behind them. Huh? It says, in a great voice as of a trumpet, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first man Adam and the last Adam. You see, you didn't know that's what that was talking about. The first man, Adam, was made natural, a living soul. The last Adam was made spiritual, a quickening spirit. I am the first and the last. Do you understand? Then it says, and what thou seest, write it in a book, so that they will know that we knew what was going to happen before it happened. And now I'm reciting it to them. And it says, write it in a book and send it unto the 7 churches, the 7 continents on this planet. In Asia. Asia means earth. The 7 churches of Asia is the 7 continents of earth. Then it says, unto Ephesus. I could say unto Arctic and Antarctic, unto Africa, and all that. That's just the continents. They're just telling you what they named them back then. Do you understand? It says, you know, the white man went around renaming everything, you know. so he said, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that spake unto me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. You see, now, why I say 7 golden candlesticks is because that's what the continents would look like if you took the oceans out of the way. You seen a candlestick with all them things sticking up? If you took all the water out of the oceans, you would see 7 great continents, mountains, sticking up like spikes on a coronavirus. And on the plateau of it, you would see life. And the reason they call them candlesticks is because the plant and animal life on the continent is like candles. It start off and it's gradually burning down, gradually dying. Everything is gradually, it's lit, it's alive, and it's steadily dying. And new candles come up and they steady die, live and die. Do you understand? And so, it says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. What did the messenger say?
It is not that Allah, God, will stay among us in person, but he raises up one, just like himself, having the same idea.
So you see, it's all written. And so now you have one that's just like Master Farad Muhammad. Even the way that I'm born. My spiritual birth was like his physical birth. His mother was a white woman. His father was a black man. My spiritual mother was the United States. And, you know, my physical on the level of mental, my mental mother was the United States. My spiritual mother is the prophets. Do you understand? The books of the prophets. I bore the image of the earthy. the earthy ruler, the natural mind. As it says, as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Okay, so I am the firstborn of both. From those two, the natural ruler, which is the white man, his knowledge was greater than the rest of the people. That's how America became, or the United States became Babylon the Great. Do you understand? They are the last superpower. And so the United States is my spiritual, mental mother. And the prophets, those men that you call prophets, they are my spiritual fathers. Do you understand? And I bear now the natural mind that I got from my mother, and which is the United States, and the spiritual mind which I got from my father, the holy prophets. And both of them got theirs from Allah. And so I am the only begotten son of Allah. Do you understand? And Allah is the truth of the natural world and the truth of the spiritual world. And I am the SUN of all of it. Do you understand? And so you notice I give them understanding of their world better than they had it. so and he ain't saying nothing, because what he gonna do? Contradict me how? If I hadn't told you that the reason we call the earth a planet is you wouldn't have knew that it was a plan eternal. That's what we were saying. That's you notice when Allah do something, when he finish it, he can walk off and go and do something else, and that thing is independent. It take care of itself. You notice the earth, it ain't never slow down, it ain't never speed up. And the seasons steady changing, and all of the matter on the earth, it just keeps changing forms and keeps being renewed. Do you understand? And you say there's no such thing as perpetual motion when you riding around on perpetual motion. But it's just people they talk without thinking, and they speak things all of the time that they have no knowledge of. And you know why they don't have no knowledge? Because they don't pay attention. You don't just get knowledge. You have to pay for it. You have to pay attention. But anyway, was there another question?
Yes, sir. We have a couple more questions.
Yes. You notice I create questions. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Irma Patton asks, do you know why Farrakhan joined Scientology?
Yes, because he was lacking understanding. You don't. If he had really understood the messenger, he would have known that as you don't need Scientology to help you understand Islam. Islam is a perfect civilized teaching, and it don't require no outside help. Islam is as true as mathematics, and mathematics is equally as true as Islam. It takes math to understand math, and it takes Islam to understand Islam. There is no outside thing that you go to say you trying to understand the teachings of Islam better. You can't do that, because Allah sent his teachings down fully explained, and if he don't give you understanding of it, to him whom Allah gives no light of understanding, he has none. Allah does not have an associate, L. Ron Hubbard and nobody else. You see? So you notice when you ask me a question, I answer you with the word of Allah. I don't try to make myself Allah's associate. Allah don't have no associate. You know, that was him manifesting that he is not guided by Allah. You know, he even tried to suggest that he believed Master Farad Muhammad met with L. Ron Hubbard. I don't know where he get that from. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, well, that's his name, forger of lies who hid himself. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad ain't never suggested that Master Farad Muhammad met with L. Ron Hubbard. On what would you base that when, met with him when? The messenger stayed with him for 3 years and approximately 4 or 5 months. Why would Master Farad Muhammad go looking for somebody else when he was the God who promised that he would send Elijah? Once he raised and sent Elijah, his task was done. He didn't have to go talk to L. Ron Hubbard or nobody else. That's why nobody heard nothing from him after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad started teaching. Master Farad Muhammad, his mission was complete. What was the other question?
Yes, sir. Jonathan Thomas says, Salam, do you think that we are on the verge of nuclear war with Russia?
No. I ain't worried about no nuclear war. As long as I'm here, ain't nobody dropping nothing on nobody. You ain't finna do no nuclear war. Allah will make that stuff blow up in your silo. You not gonna bring an end to this world. That's what I'm here for. And I can bring an end to the world without shedding blood. You can't shed blood and bring an end to it. Only thing you can do is bring an end to your existence. But you ain't ending a world, because a world is a school of thought. And you cannot do away with a school of thought by blowing it up. Because you can't blow up a school of thought. You can only blow up the building that it's taught in. But now me, I can get rid of the thought. You see, I'm got rid of Christianity. I done got rid of Christianity. How you know that? I mean, there's people out there still call themselves learning it and talking it, but you know they don't believe it, because don't none of them come in here and challenge me when I say it's a lie. You know why they don't challenge me? Because they know it's a lie. You want to come and try to tell a sane man that God's plan for salvation was murder? A righteous God condoned murder as his plan for your salvation. In other words, the righteous must be ransomed for the wicked. Well, let's see here. You know, maybe I got something wrong. But I think over in Proverbs, it says something different than that. I think in Proverbs, it said, the wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous. Now that makes more sense. Because the only way, it's just like the messenger said about people trying to kill us. He said that Allah told him that before these wicked white people, I ain't talking about the Muslims. Ain't no wicked Muslims. There's white Muslims in America, and lots of them. But the wicked, the ones who are below good, he said before they could kill 300 Muslims, he said Allah said he'd kill all of them. So let's see here. Let's see. This is in Proverbs the 21st chapter. This blow Christianity right out the water. If I had a battleship and they had a battleship, I'd send one torpedo right down them. This be the torpedo right here. This sink their battleship. It says in the 18th verse, the wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the transgressors for the upright. That's what Allah said. Well, Christianity say that the righteous, Jesus, gave his life a ransom for the wicked. Well, who would say that? The devil, that's who. That's why he took a cross as his sign so that you had no excuse. You claim that your religion will give you everlasting life. Then why you got a sign that means death, representing your religion? And you even say, you get to go to heaven after you die. Well, since the Bible referred to the continents as heaven, it says in God called the firmament heaven. So the devil told you, you get to go to heaven after you die, nigga. And you say, yes, sir, boss. And he's sitting up out there listening to me. He know he ain't nothing but a liar. Your Christianity ain't nothing but a lie from the devil. And he gave you a sign that represents death because he's the man of sin. And the wages of sin is what? And I'll tell you something else. He even told you, they made a song. It says, on a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. How I loved that old cross, where the dearest and blessed, a world of lost sinners once saved. I will cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to that old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. You see, all y'all that's been clinging to the cross, this is the day that you better trade it in for a crown of life. The sun, moon, and stars, they crown the living and that which is dead. And when you really understand it, everything lives. We don't live in a living and dead universe. We live in a living universe. And God is the God of the living. And to him, all live. That's why iron is a creature. Everything is a creature. I didn't hear you. Yeah. The book say all live under him. That's the truth. God is the God of the living, not of dead things. God ain't no God over no dead nothing. He's the God of the living. Yeah, you got a sign talking about you serving God, and your sign represents death. That's why you don't know nothing. A man that wanders out of the way of understanding is in the congregation of the dead. That is the 22nd chapter, I think, or it might be the same chapter. The 21st chapter, the 16th verse. It says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding. You know how you go up to somebody sometimes and say, I was wondering, could you tell me where so-and-so is? You wondering? Then you in the congregation of the dead. You don't know. You wondering. Huh? Christianity done had you wondering ever since you've been a member of that church. And if somebody asks you, how in the world is murdering Jesus supposed to save me? Then you say, oh, you know, God works in mysterious ways. That ain't nothing mysterious about murder. Are you saying that the God who said, thou shalt not kill, made an exception when it came to Jesus? And if Jesus came to give his life, why was he condemning the people for trying to kill him? He said, did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keep it the law? Why are you going about to kill me? Huh? See how your religion ain't nothing but a lie? You know I hurt your feelings. But what would you rather hurt? Your feelings and you save your soul, or you make you feel good and go to hell? I mean, really. Wake up, man. Wake up, woman. Don't you know if I wasn't telling the truth, I'd put my life on what I say? If what I'm saying, if you can show that what I'm teaching is not the truth, I will give you $50,000 and pay with my life for lying. Okay. Any more questions?
Yes, sir. Irma Patton asks, do you believe in the afterlife?
When you say afterlife, yes, the life that we're going to have after living the life that we've been living under this wicked man, then we have a life after that if we accept Allah's word. And that afterlife is now. It's not after you physically die and then come back. That afterlife, you ain't going to know nothing about that. Because the material that your body is made out of, that material is everlasting material. But when it cannot hold that form that you are, which is your body, when that body that you have can't hold that form anymore, the living material goes on into a new creation, and that afterlife you don't know nothing about. But the life after is the life that you will, as you accept Islam and accept being what you really are, which is Muslim, then you notice. I remember I used to hate honey. My mother used to try to give me honey when I was sick or something. And she'd mix honey with lemon juice and whatnot. And every time she gave it to me, I'd throw it up. I just couldn't stomach it. Well, that's because I grew up eating poison, eating pig and eating stuff that didn't, they fed me pig and all that. So when you eat the hog, you develop a taste like hogs do. You like slop. You like stuff that ain't no good for you. And now I love honey. I'm glad that Allah protect me from my dead life, ignorant life. But the life that I'm living now is the life after I was spiritually and mentally dead. I'm not living that type of life anymore. I mean, how many 72-year-old men do you know of that still climbing ladders and running duck work and all that kind of thing? How many 72-year-old men do you know that can still get out there and sprint? I'm living the afterlife now. After living the wrong life, I'm living the right life now, and it's a big difference, you know. So what else? What other question?
That was it, sir.
Okay. Then I'm going to stop it there. It says after 10. And but you see, you don't get tired of me. We've been in here 2.5 hours, and it don't seem like but half hour, 20 minutes, or whatever, because it's so much that there is to share with you. What is it, son?
Steven says somebody raised their hand.
Okay. I'll yes, what is it?
May Allah alaikum.
May wa alaikum Allah salam.
You were teaching on the eighth heaven once, and I was wondering, is that symbol on the front of the Holy Quran? It looks like a number 8. If you take all those lines away from it, is there any?
No, I didn't.
Significance to that?
No, that is Arabic writing, and I'm pretty sure it's probably just the symbols for the book itself. But I have never had no particular interest in that. I know it's called Holy Quran, and that's what I was interested in. Someone else may be able to answer that question about what that writing is, but I'm pretty sure it's some form of writing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Anyone else? So we don't refer to the Holy Quran alone or the Bible alone. They are not alone. They are one revelation from God. And collectively, they are the eighth heaven. So, anyone else? All right. Then may Allah bless us, keep us safe, and in our right minds, and grant to us the victory over this world and its evil. And by the way, that's, as I was telling you, that's how you bring an end to a world. Like I brought an end to Christianity and all these other religions. You notice nobody comes in here to try to argue with me when I say that all of your religions are false. I couldn't have done away with them if I didn't have the truth. Do you understand? You see, and that's how you bring it in to worlds. You see, may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's salam alaikum.